College is about living and learning. From academics to friends, Greek life to campus ministries, experiencing life to the fullest. Chronicling the times of Northwestern State University, this is Demon Life.
Hello, my name is Kyla Winey, and thank you for tuning into Demon Life. Today we have the cast of Eleemosynary, a play put on by Northwestern State University Theater and Dance Company. And here are my guests today. We have Lindsay, Paige, and Sarah Roberts. So if you guys want to go ahead and introduce yourself, what made you join the theater company here at Northwestern?
Well, I'm Sarah Roberts. I knew I wanted to study theater in college, and my Aunt Vicky actually happens to be a professor here. And I never came and visited, but once I did, and she was like, I set up an audition for you. So I fell in love with it and was like, okay, this is where I'm gonna go. So I came to Northwestern.
Gotcha. And you, Lindsay?
I actually graduated from Alvin College in Alvin, Texas with my Associate of Art and needed to transfer somewhere with a bachelor program, and was at the Texas Music Educationers Association, TMEA All-State, and I met Dr. Gillum, and he put me in touch with Scott Burrell, and I came and I auditioned, and I'm really happy here. I like it.
Very good. Okay, well, let's talk about Eleemosynary. The play, what is the actual plot of the play?
The plot, the plot is not it's not structured how you would consider. It goes back in time a lot, and but it tells the story of 3 generations of women, a grandmother, a mother, and a daughter. And I almost feel like the story is different for each of the characters, all from their different point of view.
Right, as a story, each of these characters could stand alone, and you could get just their side of it, but how it is, you get from Echo's perspective, and from Artie's perspective, and from Dorothea's perspective, and the confusion comes in a little bit, because if you're watching a movie or a normal play, it starts at the beginning, and then it carries you through, and then you have your ending. But with this, it starts at the beginning, and then it goes back in time, and we're constantly having to figure out, how old am I here, and what's happening next, because it doesn't start where you think it should and go all the way up.
Gotcha.
But it's about forgiveness.
It is.
Okay. And Sarah, what is your character in the play?
I play Echo. She's the granddaughter. And her mother left her with her grandmother when she was little, and she's always wanted to be close with her mother and get to know her. And she gets involved with spelling bees and tries to win her mother back through spelling. But yeah, I play Echo, the granddaughter.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Lindsay, your
I play
character?
Artie. She is the daughter of Dorothea and the mother of Echo, and she's probably the black sheep of the family. She has a lot of neurotic tendencies. She has the overbearing mother, and she's embarrassed by her, and she just doesn't know how to deal with things that come her way, so she runs away from all of her problems, and you can only run so far until you have to face the ultimate
Music.
yes.
Gotcha. Okay, and can you relate to your character in any way? Did you relate to your character?
Absolutely. I'm neurotic all the time. I'm very, very self-aware, as is Artie.
She is Artie, yes.
Yeah, I found a lot of myself in the character, and it was a little, I can't relate to having a daughter, but I think that as a woman, we can all relate to these characters on any level, basically, because we're women.
Gotcha. Okay, and I know that Ashley Webster plays Dorothea, which is the
Yes.
grandmother, and she's going to be on the show later, so we're definitely going to get into that. But I guess one of my questions is, what was your favorite part of actually doing Eleemosynary?
Like the process or the play itself?
I guess the play itself first.
For me, my favorite part is always, well, the spelling bee is fun just because it takes a lot of energy and it's just fun. But I really like the ending. It's my favorite part, just because of the feeling of it is just very monumental for Echo, and I think for Artie, and that's my favorite part.
I'd have to agree with you. I really enjoy the ending because there's a lot of monologues in this show, and at the very end, we really do get to connect with each other, and it's just a really nice moment.
Gotcha. Okay, and why did you decide to star in this play? Was it just kind of a audition, and were you forced to do the audition? Were you persuaded? How did you audition?
I don't think that it was a choice.
Well,
if it was a choice, I would choose it, but
yeah, definitely.
it was, we had the auditions and the cast list went up, and it was a strange audition because most of the time you say, oh, well, if I don't get this part, then there's always something else I can do. But in a show with only 3 people in it, you have to, it's kind of nerve-wracking because it's not like you can say, oh, well, I'll just do, I'd be okay with this part, There's 3 roles, and whenever the cast list went up, I was very, very excited, and I was excited to be able to work with Sarah.
Gotcha. And Sarah, what about you? What's your opinion on that?
Well, you don't have to audition for the plays if you don't want to. And when we audition, we audition for West Side Story and Eleemosynary. And of course, West Side Story is such a big show. So going to the callbacks for Eleemosynary, it was a little more competitive just because there are only 3 roles and there are all these girls like, it would be really nice. So I know for me, when the cast list went up, I was very, very excited because there were a lot of really good girls at the callbacks, and I wanted to do it. It was challenging with such a small cast. It was, so definitely choosing.
Sarah's had to leave us, but now we have Ashley Webster, who plays Dorothea in Eleemosynary. Hey, Ashley. So can you tell us a little bit about your character?
Yes. Dorothea, she's the grandmother of Echo and the mother of Artie. And she comes across as eccentric because she is eccentric. And but she's very intelligent, which I try to portray as well. She's just a little bit of comic relief in there. And she chose to be an eccentric. She's not something that she just was born with. She chose it because after a few events in her life, where she was confined, people were making decisions for her. She wanted to say what she wanted to say, do what she wanted to do, make decisions for herself, and that's why she chose eccentricity.
Okay. Well, let's talk a little bit more about the University Theater and Dance Department. How would a normal student with a, moderately not too busy schedule get a little more involved with that department?
They can come see our shows.
Yes.
We love having people come see our shows and supporting us. We have auditions at the beginning or the end of the semester, depending on which, and that's for the main stage shows and for the second season, which is directed by a student. And, we have our dance concerts, and all of those are auditions that anybody can come and do.
Okay.
And I know how I got involved. I was actually, my entire freshman year, I wasn't active in the theater. But then I talked to Dr. Parrish, who is an excellent professor. She said I had to minor or, major. And I was like, well, I guess I'll minor, because it's something I really wanted to do. So if you're definitely interested in doing theater, go talk to Dr. Parrish and or any professor there. They're very helpful and in getting you involved if you want to do that.
Okay. Now, are these open auditions to any students here on campus?
Yes, they are.
Okay. So how was the audition process for you guys for Eleemosynary? How did that work?
Well, we auditioned for West Side Story and Eleemosynary at the same time, so we brought in a cut of music for an accompanist, and then we did our monologue.
And there was about over 100 students there. And so it was, you know, especially for Ella Mossner, it was only 3, so it was very competitive. It was a little nerve-wracking. They did it in groups. We were in our own little time frames that we had to show up. And everybody was in the room, and then you performed. I mean, you did your audition in front of everyone. So
And then you have the dreaded wait for how long is it going to take for the callback list to go up, and then the callback list goes up, and then there's more auditions, and you read lines from the show with different people to see how you look and how you interact with them, and then you wait some more, and then they finally put the cast list up.
Okay. Well, what is it like the day in the life of a theater student during an actual production? Because you know you have school during the day and shows at night. So how does that work?
I feel like we shouldn't tell you because it might scare people off. My Tuesdays are awful. I have class at 8 o'clock in the morning, and then I finally get a break at noon. Then I have voice lessons at 1, and then we have a special acting with Ibsen and Chekhov at 3:30 to 6, and then our call time is at 6, and the show starts at 7:30, and then it gets out at about 9:30, 10 o'clock.
it's very, very hectic, especially when you're in the show. Rehearsals every night. We had rehearsal every night, and it's a balance. You have to, you know, be staying up home doing homework maybe till 1 or 2. That's just sometimes you have to do that, you know. But if it's something that you really love to do, it won't be too big of a problem. You'll enjoy the process, I think.
Okay. And what's next for the theater and dance department? What's the next production?
West Side Story opens, and I'm not sure of the dates, but I do know that they're online, and that will be in AA Fredericks. And then there's also the dance concert, and we have a couple of second season shows that still have to go up. So we have a lot of stuff.
Yes, and
Come check us out.
West Side's going to be a huge production, and I'm so excited to see it. And I don't know when they're starting to build. I'm not sure when they're
I
building.
think that they
it.
started building it today.
It's going to be an awesome production, so I'm really excited about seeing it.
Gotcha. Okay, and my last question is, if you all were PR people for public relations for the department that you're in, how would you sell it to the students? How would you let them know that, yes, it's hard work, but it's still fun?
I think that our work in general sells itself, and if you just give us a chance, then you'll definitely see that. We bust our butts every day, and it shows.
And the professors and the instructors, they so want you to succeed. They'll do, you know, just about anything. They're tough on you sometimes, but that's because they're preparing you for the real world, and they're really awesome instructors, and they just want you to succeed and do well.
All right. Well, thank you so much for tuning into Demon Life, and thank you too for being here for the interviews. I'm Kyla Winey, and thank you for tuning in.